A very good afternoon to you and many thanks for joining us on Parastatal TV. You are definitely watching Frontline. I am your host PK Wanjiro. Now, a couple of days ago, I had the privilege to interview the Deputy Inspector General of Police who is in charge of the Administration Police Service, that is none other than Samuel Arachi. We are also privileged to get an interview, an exclusive interview actually, with the second man in command that is the principal deputy to the Deputy Inspector General of Police. Is none other than Mr. Fred Mwei. Now, before we get into the interview, I would want him to just make a general statement as a follow-up to what we discussed with the Deputy Inspector General of Police. Mr. Mwei, welcome.
Thank you, Kamal, and my pleasure to have you visit us.
Yes.
This is the AP headquarters, and this is actually the point from where we run the affairs of the service. As a national service, we have quite a widespread of personnel in the service. We are deployed in 47 counties.
Yes.
326 roughly sub-county commands. And of course more than 2,500 outposts. Basically, out of our workforce, almost 75% plus are working in the outposts.
Okay.
Very, very local level, very grassroots points of service delivery, probably unrivaled in any other government agency. In addition to those county commands, which now manage the outposts, the more than 2,500, we have 5 units that are operations based, support these counties, and we have 3 training formations.
Okay.
And basically, these generally provide what you would call as administrative support, training support, operational support.
Yes.
To these counties. We also have in the headquarters here, the hub of the service, we have about 7 directorates.
Okay.
And about 5 sub-directorates. Again, all of them are involved in various administrative activities,
yes,
just to ensure smooth operations and the smooth delivery of policing services,
yes,
to the country.
Now, mainly, I would want to know, what can you tell us about the core competencies that is in the Administration Police Service, and also how the cadet program, to be specific, has aided to add value to the Administration Police Service?
When you talk of competencies, we are looking at quite a number of factors. One is obviously what drives the service,
yes,
in terms of the capability to deliver quality services. And this will range from the knowledge bank that we have, composed of various skills and attitude,
okay,
composed of various qualifications by officers at different levels. One of the competencies is the training level that allows an officer to live comfortably with communities without stressing himself or without straining with the community. That ability to mix very well,
yes,
and support the community, bring them together to understand their role, but also at the same time the ability to deal with any threat, yes, to peace and security, whether in terms of interdiction, whether it is apprehension, whether it is preventive, whether it is intelligence. That is not a competence that you find in many other organizations, particularly when you look at it's the spread.
Yes.
Almost every personnel is able to comfortably work anywhere in the country. The other competences relate to the ability to apply both training and also the basic equipment. And we do not have as much
yes,
sophistication in terms of the equipment that we use. but the ability to innovate with the resources that we have and deliver what would be good quality services. These that combination of skill and ability to put to use minimal resources to achieve much greater success than would be ordinary is something that we are proud of. And of course that combines with some of the recent developments in the service, which include what you've just mentioned, the cadet program, which is about 10 years now since we began to recruit that cadre of graduate officers. These will be largely in two areas. There is the general commander cadre, but there are also specialists. Specialists in the sense of skills that we do not ordinarily have. And this would be in the field of forensic, in the field of law, in the field of finance. These are skills that and you know that we have, including GIS and information management, ICT. These are now staff that we now have in the service. We are putting them to proper use, particularly in managing investigations, basically related to our functions. We are putting these skills in improving the quality of administration in the service and command. We are also putting these skills in managing, for instance, the resources that we have at our disposal, including fleet, that is vehicles, transport, and many other fields. So when we look at you know the kind of value that this group has brought, we are not merely looking at only the specialists. We are also looking at the quality of administrative function that we can now see. But also there is also something that comes with a little bit of those who have taken time to study it at a higher level, because they are able to understand and to help the service interrogate social developments that affect policing. Some of the challenges that we are facing from you know, associated with stress within families, technology that is coming, globalization. These are young people who are able to conduct research, who are able to interrogate and, you know, engage with the outer world, not only in the business fraternity, but also the academia, and they deliver to us quite impressive, you know, recommendations that you know, way forward on some of the social problems that generate crimes that probably are new to our world.
Now that is about the cadet training program, but very few Kenyans, and I have to admit this, I just learned of this recently, that within the administration police service you also have an overseas training. Tell us something about the overseas training within the MBS.
We have quite a good number of officers who have benefited from training programs in overseas countries. Largely, these are fully sponsored by our development partners. Some are partly sponsored, again, and the government meets the other portion of the training. The last, let's begin with about 6-7 years, we have head officers who have gone for courses in, for instance, border security, which is one of our functions. And in fact, I must add that the border patrol unit is basically the concepts and the idea. We picked it from some of our partner nations who are very well advanced in their border management. We have officers who have also been able to undergo advanced training in academic fields in countries such as US, China, parts of Europe. And these officers have come back with a specialization in transport, in engineering, in chemical biology areas, in ICT. The other aspect that we have benefited is a particularly more important area of police operations, particularly from Europe.
Yes.
And this has enabled us to much more better tackle emerging threats. The causes in terrorism fighting, in radicalization, in investigation. All these are programs that have enabled the service put in and benefit in improving the quality of personnel, both at operational, that's really street policing level, and their supervisors, to also senior commanders.
Okay.
So we are not talking of a minimal benefit, it's quite substantial.
Yeah. But it is not restricted maybe to theory only.
No. Some of these programs include quite a bit of policing practicals within some of those countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've given me so much confidence knowing that within the APS we know there are people who are trained outside there. But then again, just in conclusion, apart from corruption, one of the biggest fears amongst Kenyans out there is the issue of insecurity. We know the National Police Service has done its best, but you've been the second in command in within the Administration Police Service. What would be your parting shot on security situation in Kenya?
Of course, we fully understand the apprehension that Kenyans have.
Yes.
Anytime we have holidays, and largely because of our the last 2 or so years related to terrorism.
Yes.
There are also fears as political campaigns seem to be peaking, and the question of gangs, possibly criminal gangs, and the generally, fear of burglary and other crimes.
Yes.
That are associated with any community. But we have ourselves have put in place additional measures beginning this year. They are not aimed not only to boost the security during the Easter holidays,
yes,
but also going beyond to the end of the year. And next year, as we gear up for campaigns, yes, in elections. And part of these initiatives have benefited from the recent graduation. We received 4,000 new officers.
Yes.
Those ones we have deployed them in areas where we had gaps. In the pastoralist areas, we can assure people there that they can add a few additional livestock, knowing that nobody will take them away. Courtesy of the numbers that we have put there and the additional training that we have provided to the team that we added to the commands in all those counties that experience cattle rustling and influx in terms of gun-related crime. We also have specialized equipment, the APCs given to us by the government.
Yes.
In addition to that, for northeastern and areas that are likely to have threat of terrorism, we have also done the same.
Okay.
We have, without telling you the numbers, we have healthy numbers, additional, and I can tell you that our visibility, and not only the visibility, but also the quality of the men who are patrolling the rural areas, is far much higher. and nobody needs to fear. If you are a traveler, just get into your bus, travel where you want. You'll find us ready for anybody who may want to disrupt your travel. For those in the urban areas,
Yes.
Again, that number is much more healthier. The rural areas, in the agricultural areas, in the rural border posts, all these are areas that we have significantly increased. We will keep on speaking to everybody who wants a secure country, who wants a secure place for their business, for their, for their home. And I am confident come out that
Yes.
we will not have the kind of instances that sometimes we've seen in the past, be they terrorist related, be they gangs,
Yes.
or even ordinary criminals who may just want to cause havoc. My final word on our policing agenda.
Yes.
We know, and of course, the corruption perception report has been released,
Yes.
and we've seen the ministry where we belong,
Yeah.
and certainly the police service. It is still being mentioned, not in a very positive light.
Yes.
And all we are saying is to Kenyans to believe in us and to allow us a little time, but to be sure that we are very determined to clean our stable. Sometimes people want to believe what they may have experienced in the past, probably last week, yesterday, and they may not give us an opportunity to see the change that overnight we achieve. We will ensure that integrity in the National Police Service, and particularly in the AP, is brought to the standards that it should. We should be able to account for any action, and where we go wrong, we will be ready to discuss. The last month alone, the Inspector General has finalized a corruption prevention plan for the National Police Service.
Yes.
And of course, a rights observance document that is now available to us. Okay. These two areas have been an area where our image has not fared well.
Yeah, it's true.
But we in the service command, with the Inspector General's office,
yes,
and particularly the reform desk there, we are determined, and I can assure you that within a short time, at least Kenyans will have a police service that they will be proud of.
Sure.
They shouldn't give up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Principal Deputy to the Deputy Inspector General, Mr. Fred Mwei. One thing I've picked out is when you see the administration police officers and any other police officer out there, it's not only about visibility, but the quality behind that person. What an amazing way to end this. And he's also assured you that you are free to go to anywhere that you want because your security is guaranteed and of essence. Just give the National Police Service as a whole just more time to deal with this menace called corruption. What a way to end this. For Parastatal TV Frontline, I am your host, PK Wanjiru. See you next time.